Welcome to another episode of the Club World Cup journey. We're back again with Group C, final game week, and yeah, this was a very interesting one. I think coming into it, there was three teams that had a chance of getting through. I think Boca Juniors, Benfica, Bayern, and Benfica ripped up the script of this one. I feel like with the Boca Auckland game initially, that was a 1-1 draw. I think that was the best we saw of Auckland City. I think Boca Juniors had a lot of chances, a lot of possession, but they just didn't take their chances. Um, I feel because of that, they're no longer in the competition. Um, Obviously, they're our Argentinian team. They played well, but if you don't win the game, and to be honest, it was a big if they were gonna make it to the next round because only they needed Bayern to win the game. They also needed to win by a lot of goals because Benfica beat Auckland 6-0, Bayern beat Auckland 10-0, so they needed to score a lot of goals, especially with their goal difference. And they didn't do it. They just got a 1-1 draw in that game. They got the goal first with an own goal, and then Auckland came back in the second half with a goal of their own. But outside of that, they didn't really do much. I feel like, for me, it showed the level of quality that the Boca Juniors didn't have in terms of all those chances, all those shots, 41 shots, 10 on target. It wasn't good enough, I think, for me personally. I just think it wasn't good enough as a whole, as a team. And I feel like if you're going to be the team to get through, that is a game that you needed to win and take. And I would say take the best in terms of how do I put it, in terms of you needed to take your chances in this game. You needed to win by a lot. You needed to be a bit more on it. I feel like I understand when both games are going at the same time, you don't know what's happening, but it's about making sure that at least you win your game. And they didn't do that. They didn't do that at all. On the other hand, we had a little bit of a shock. Um, I think everyone expected Bayern to win the group, but another shock result for them, a big loss to Benfica, and it was one of them ones where Benfica got their goal and just defended after that. I felt like obviously there was a disallowed goal for Bayern. Me personally, I didn't think it was disallowed. It's very unfortunate. It's one of those ones that's an opinion piece in terms of was he in the way or wasn't he. Me personally, I don't think he was in the way, but it's just one of those ones where one minute you can look at it and you can say it was, then the other minute you can say it wasn't. So it was down to the discretion of the ref. But outside of that, this is what I say about referees in this tournament. They haven't been the greatest, but at the same time, don't ever allow them to be the ones to make the decision for you. So that's what I would say in terms of that. I think in terms of their attacking players, they weren't good enough. I think even themselves would say that they weren't good enough as a team. I think they would say that they weren't good enough as a unit. And to lose to Benfica, the Portuguese team, wasn't good enough for me personally. In terms of that, and going into the next rounds, obviously, and this is the thing about going into the next round as well for Bayern. By losing this game, they put themselves in a much tougher position going forward. They're on the tougher side of the bracket as things currently stand. They're looking like they're going to be playing some of the better teams going forward in the competition, and it's going to be very difficult for them to make it as far as they can. Let me double check. Let me just come quickly search here to see who they have next. I know they have um, Flamingo next, and we will be talking about Group D in the episode after this. But in terms of their side of the group, outside of Flamingo, let me look quickly. me one moment. To the group stage. So on their side, if they get past Flamingo, then they could possibly face PSG or Inter Miami. It's most likely PSG. So even in the quarters, you got PSG. So in the round of 16, you have a tough Brazilian team. In the quarters, you're most likely to face Paris Saint-Germain, the European champions, one of the best teams in Europe. And then even if you get past them, it's looking like you're going to face maybe a Madrid or a City that are more likely to be on that side of the draw. So it just has made their road to the final much more difficult, and it was a game that they should have won. And that's probably what will hurt Bayern fans the most, is that they lost a game that they should have won. Because for me, everything going into it, they're the better team. They have the better players. Obviously, Benfica scored early, 13th minute. But then everything after that was all Bayern. Bayern had majority of the possession, majority of the chances, and they just didn't take any of them. Going forward, I think they do need to upgrade on their attack. Um, I didn't agree with the starting 11 that Vincent Company. I don't know why you didn't start Elise in a game that was must win. I think for me, Leroy Sane playing the full 90 didn't make sense to me. I think he's a player that's been moved on, so I don't know why he would care as much. And in this competition, you should look at it as something that you want to win. So use the players that are going to be with you here next season, not the players that are gonna that are looking to move, that are moving on after this tournament. The only player that should be playing that is going to be gone after this is Muller, because this is kind of like his retirement tour. This is a tournament that he could win to leave on a high. So unfortunately, with that loss to Benfica, that 1-0 loss to Benfica, it means that you put yourself on the tougher side of the group. You lose a game that you should have won, and you finish second in Group C. And yeah, that's what happened with that group. It's going to be interesting to see obviously Benfica face my team Chelsea in the next round, and after this I'll talk about Group D. But in terms of Group C, Auckland, semi-pro team, they probably enjoyed their experience. Boca Juniors should have probably done more in terms of that final game to give them an opportunity, even though if looking at what happened in the games, they needed Bayern to win, and they needed themselves also to have a big win, which neither of those things happened. Big win, big win in the end for Benfica. Showed their defensive resilience. The last Portuguese team in the competition, obviously Porto got knocked out, and then Bayern just made it difficult for themselves, finishing second in a group that they should have easily won. But yeah, that's it. Group C, African King Academy, Club World Cup journey, and I'm out. Peace.